didn't do what the Lord had told him to do about killing everybody when it came time to go to war. And then he got jealousy and hated David. And then he kept trying to kill him. He apologized. Then he'd go try to kill him again. He apologized. Go and kill him again. Try to kill him again. And, you got people in your life that's going to do you wrong, apologize, and do you wrong again. But the thing is, no matter where we go, we're going to have people like that. And that's why we need to be a lot like David and walk wisely. Watch our steps. Watch who we're around. Watch who we let in our lives. He spent a lot of his time running and running and running just for fear of Saul. He loved Saul. And he could have killed him, but he didn't. He had a heart. My mystery is, did Saul himself disobey God? Or did God put it in him to disobey God? To use him as an example of what happens when you disobey God? He was an example of what not to do while being king and concerning obedience to God. But he started out good. It's like with me, I started out, I was all ready to get in there for the Lord. I had that heart, that change of heart, I felt. But then, somewhere down the line, he switched up. He got prideful of his position. And people get prideful of their positions. But then the thing was, too, with him in his position of being prideful, he made his men suffer. As preachers make Christians suffer by pushing this on them and pushing that on them. For example, he told the men not to eat or they'd be cursed. So then they was going and they was hungry and faint. He made it hard on them. And then when they got to that food bowl, they ate it raw. They just cut them heads off of them animals and cut them apart and just ate them raw. Didn't even cook them. So then, that was a sin for eating them raw because he put that on them, put that so much pressure on them. And then, he went after them for sinning, for eating the raw animals. And tried to kill them. People get in them high positions, they'll mess you up. And us today, it's good to look up to people, some people and stuff. But don't put your hope in them and don't put your pride in them. For they can't do nothing. For they're just human beings. They're flesh and bone. There's only one person to put hope in, and that's God. For he's the only hope for anyone. But they get in them high positions like that and they will mess you up. Because just like his men, they was faint, they was hungry, and they couldn't eat. And then they did eat. Because it's like they put these standards on you. You get in that high position, your heart's changed. You're up here now. You was down low, but now you're up. And then you put all these standards and rules and regulations on people, and they can't barely do it. So then they get that chance, they fall, and then they're the enemies, and then you crucify them. And that's a lot of Christians today, especially a lot of preachers, they're like Saul. They get there first, they're good kids, they get that change of heart, the Spirit of God on them, then they get that rising position, and then they go presumptuously. They lose their patience waiting on God and doing what He says to do, and they go by their own understanding and jump. Just like he jumped to make that sacrifice of that offering to go to war, to get the people in there. And we need to try to look at Saul's life and say 1 Samuel's a good book to read. I think everyone should read it. And look at Saul's life and compare it to yours about what you should do and what not to do. Learn how to have patience on the Lord, to call upon Him and depend on Him and wait. Not just jump and do something without waiting on Him, because He'll show you. And then, like I say, with David, he was after God's own heart. He had a good heart. But then you look at his life later on, he falls. Solomon, the wisest one, the wisest man alive, he fell. You know, and who are we? We're nobody compared to them. Even Saul, I'm nobody compared to Saul. Saul was a whole lot better man than I was, than I am. Just for the fact he had a changed heart. He was a goodlier, the goodliest boy among all the Israelites. You know, I mean, we have to have patience in God and wait on Him and call upon Him. He'll show us everything that we need to know. And the main thing from this is just to try to walk wisely. Not just jump into stuff, not take this, not take that, but to walk wisely and patiently and wait on the Lord for everything. You know, and for this country here that we're in, I'm not sure the future of it. It looks grim. But the main thing for us individually is to walk wisely and wait upon the Lord. You know, this place, a lot of countries are like Sodom and Gomorrah, not necessarily referring to the homosexual aspect of it, which was what was going on back then, and probably worse, more than just homosexuality for Sodom and Gomorrah. But the thing is, God told if there was any righteous in there, to get them out. So He got Lot and his wife out. So it's just like this with this nation as it's going under. If there be any righteous, He'll protect us. You know, this country may fall, but His child and His children, He'll protect us while the thing falls around us. So the main thing from Samuel is just be patient in the Lord, walk wisely, watch your steps, and He'll deliver us. Because He delivered David a lot of times from Samuel, or from Saul. And that is 1 Samuel.